Everybody wants to see you against David Benavidez. Everybody. Don't do that to us. If you want to make him wait and say, I want to make this money, fine, even though you made gobs and gobs.
Stephen A. Smith strongly criticized Canelo Alvarez over reports that he wanted $200 million to fight David Benavidez. Smith argued that enough excuses have been made and said it's time for Canelo to accept the challenge instead of placing more obstacles in the way.
That's just BS. Anybody who knows boxing, everybody who watches boxing knows that David Benavidez is the real deal. Now, that doesn't mean he'd beat you, because anybody could fall if you catch him right. We know who you are, Canelo, you big time. But you getting ready to fight. Mengoa, listen, the brother's 43-0. So he's a nice opponent. But that ain't what America has been asking for. That ain't what the boxing world has been asking for. The boxing world, Canelo Alvarez, has been asking you to go in the ring against David Benavidez, who's undefeated, a knockout artist, has smoked everybody in his path. He's undefeated, and he's been asking for you. And oh, by the way, Canelo Alvarez, you can get $150 million for fighting David.
At the same time, Canelo Alvarez continues to shut down any discussion about fighting David Benavidez, saying the matchup no longer makes sense under the current circumstances. He also suggested that Benavidez should focus on pursuing bigger challenges at heavyweight rather than continuing to call for a fight with him.
Right now, it's just impossible. It's impossible. He can fight with the heavyweights. You know what I mean?
Talking about him fighting Usyk, right?
Yeah. So when we are like both in 168, I fought every champion at the division. I say to myself, why he never fight those champions? And then if he was a champion at that point, I fight him, because my goal was being undisputed. But you know, I understand why he's calling me out, or they are calling me out. But
expanding on his position, Canelo Alvarez made it clear that he is not concerned with the direction of David Benavidez's career. He explained that the conversation surrounding a potential fight has been repeated countless times and emphasized that he has no interest in continuing to discuss the subject.
After all these years, he's still calling you names and looking to get that fight, even with him boxing as high as cruiserweight?
no, I'm not surprised.
Is it realistic for 175?
Huh?
Is it realistic to fight him at light heavyweight?
Who?
Benavidez.
I don't think he can make even 175 anymore. I don't know, but it's not my...
On the other hand, David Benavidez questioned why Canelo Alvarez has been unwilling to face him, arguing that the fight would generate enormous revenue for everyone involved. Benavidez pointed to his size, speed, power, and determination as the reasons he believes he presents such a difficult challenge. He also emphasized that he has always welcomed opportunities to face elite opponents because that's how he wants to prove himself.
If you have a fighter talking so much trash in front of you, why don't you make an example of him to the world? Beat me in the ring and make a whole lot of money. But Canelo Alvarez, as you can see from every time he fights a guy that's big with power, like Bivol, you know what I mean? And he's not able to suppress these fighters as much as he's able to suppress the little fighters. You know what I mean? So he sees a lot of things in me that he can't stop. You know, not only does he see speed, does he see power, but he sees a lot of heart in me. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm going in there and I want to prove myself to the world that I'm the greatest fighter. And it doesn't matter, it doesn't scare me to get in there with another great fighter, because I know that elevates me and who I am as a boxer.
Building on that, David Benavidez expressed confidence that he can continue collecting world titles and believes doing so will strengthen his position in future negotiations. He argued that if championships and legacy truly matter, becoming a unified champion would remove almost every excuse for the biggest fights not to happen.
Beat Bivol, I'm gonna have all belts. So after that happens, now I'm the one who has the power. Now I'm the one. Canelo said he doesn't fight, he fights for greatness, he fights for titles. Well, let me go pick up all the titles and let's come back into the table.
Meanwhile, Timothy Bradley also criticized Canelo Alvarez over the ongoing situation involving David Benavidez, questioning whether Canelo ever truly intends to fight him. Bradley believes now is the perfect time to finally make the matchup, pointing out that Benavidez has already moved up in weight and suggesting Canelo should bring him back down to 168 pounds so they can settle the rivalry once and for all.
Canelo, like, stop. Come on, bro. You ain't had the balls to get in there and fight no damn Benavidez. And I know, come on, Canelo fans. Come on, Canelo fans. Bring it, for real. No, you didn't have the balls to get in there and fight Benavidez. But you're going to go to his fight, right? Come on, stop. Get in the ring with Benavidez. It's the perfect time now. He's already blown up to 200 and something pounds now. Now you bring him back down. Bring his ass back down to 168, Canelo, instead you want to fight him.
Bradley also suggested that Canelo Alvarez should have fought David Benavidez years ago. According to him, pride may have played a role in delaying the matchup. He compared it to other situations throughout boxing history where elite fighters avoided risky opponents until much later, saying legacy and rivalries often influence when the biggest fights finally happen.
He just said nobody cares about that fight, that Canelo should be fighting him. Is he right about that?
Yeah, hell yeah. Canelo should have been done fought Benavidez. He should have been fought Benavidez, man. I don't understand. I really don't well, I do understand it. Canelo can't swallow that pride, man, and he can't. So some guys out there, and it kind of reminds me of Tank, right? They won't be able to deal with themselves if they lose to this certain guy, right? And it always has to be with the same damn race. It's like, come on, don't you want to pass?
Meanwhile, Max Kellerman said he doesn't believe Canelo Alvarez avoids difficult opponents. Instead, Kellerman believes Canelo carefully chooses the timing of his biggest fights. He suggested that a fight with David Benavidez will only happen if Canelo feels completely prepared, even if waiting carries risks to his reputation.
I want to ask you about Canelo because this is my feeling has always been about him. He doesn't duck and he will fight you eventually. But I always thought, even though you're Mexican-American, I always thought that he doesn't want to give up that crown until he's ready to go, and then he'll see what you got. So I've always believed he will fight you eventually, but not until he's ready to kind of pass the torch if you...
Max Kellerman also believes Canelo Alvarez's best opportunity to defeat David Benavidez came much earlier in David's career. He explained that today's Benavidez is far more disciplined, mature, and dangerous than he was in his younger years. Kellerman also noted that Canelo generally has more trouble against opponents who use movement than against fighters who stand and exchange punches. He added that Benavidez now approaches the sport with a completely different level of focus than he once did.
Canelo's best chance to get you was when you were on your way up, and to be honest, David, I didn't think you took it as seriously then as you do now. The way Floyd caught Canelo on Canelo's way up, now it's more of a problem. One of the things, guys, real quick, no one's ever beaten Canelo with Benavidez type style. The guys who beat Canelo move, right? Who has ever brought it to Canelo, because he's such a great counterpuncher also, and beaten him?
On another front, David Benavidez has openly shown interest in fighting Dimitri Bivol, making it clear that he wants another elite-level challenge. His call-out has only increased speculation that a blockbuster showdown between two of boxing's top fighters could eventually become reality.
Bivol is really he's the only fight I really want, that I truly want, because he has all the belts. You know what I mean? After I beat Bivol, I'm gonna have, right now I have 8 titles. 3 of them were interim, 3 of them world championships at super middleweight, light heavyweight. Now I got 2 of them at cruiserweight. I really want those belts. I want those accolades. So that's the only thing I want right now.
Dimitri Bivol responded calmly when asked about the possibility of fighting David Benavidez. He acknowledged Benavidez's ambition and said that elite fighters are always searching for the biggest challenges available. According to Bivol, that competitive mindset is exactly what creates the biggest fights in boxing.
And I want his belt, and I want to defend my belt, and I want to be...
Bivol also praised David Benavidez, describing him as a highly skilled fighter with tremendous confidence and nonstop determination. He said Benavidez's willingness to pursue the toughest opponents shows that he is completely focused on reaching the highest level in the sport.
one of your rivals, let's say Arthur Beterbiev, is fighting January. Provided both of you get through that, do you think the undisputed fight will finally happen?
Yeah, now it's very close. It's very close, and in 2024 it could happen, of course.
Would that happen in Saudi?
Yeah, we are talking about in Saudi. Yeah, if Saudi very interested to make this.
In return, David Benavidez spoke highly of Dmitry Bivol, calling him one of the most technically gifted fighters in boxing today. He praised Bivol's movement, ring IQ, defensive skills, and punching ability, explaining that those strengths motivate him to work even harder in training. Benavidez also revealed that he has wanted this matchup for a long time and believes he is fully prepared for the challenge.
Dmitry Bivol, he's a great fighter. He's probably one of the best fighters out there today, just because he's so technical. He has good speed. He has good power. But at the end of the day, that's only going to turn emotional on. You know what I mean? So I'm ready for this fight. Like I said, I've been calling for all these fights because I've told you guys I've been 100%.
Benavidez also explained that he is not committed to staying in just one weight class. He said he is willing to move between divisions whenever it gives him the opportunity to face elite opponents. According to Benavidez, his biggest goal is building a lasting legacy by taking on the toughest challenges available, regardless of the weight class.
I think you guys know that 100% already. You know, wherever it is, it's 200, 175, wherever. I mean, I'm just here to test myself at the end of the day and test my grade.
Building on that point, Teddy Atlas described the mentality of a true champion as someone who never hesitates to face dangerous opponents and is willing to accept high-risk fights to build a lasting legacy. Even so, Atlas slightly favors David Benavidez, pointing to his exceptional hand speed, explosive offense, and ability to throw fast combinations as advantages that could make the difference.
He has the true confidence that you want in a champion. He believes in himself that he can beat anybody, and he shows it. And he's willing to make fights that can really leave him a great legacy by having that attitude. I picked Benavidez to win this fight, but I thought it was going to go more rounds. I thought it was going to go where it was a good chance it could go to the decision. Boy, oh boy. And the reason why, and the biggest reasons why I gave Benavidez an advantage to just win the fight. Forget about that he was going to stop him. But his hands are faster, he's more explosive, and he's got that ability to fight.
Sharing a similar opinion, Sean Porter praised David Benavidez's power and explosiveness, saying his aggressive style is capable of overwhelming many fighters. However, Porter also stressed that Dmitry Bivol presents an entirely different challenge because he relies on timing, structure, discipline, and elite ring intelligence to control fights.
As we already know, the younger, very energetic, strong, big, the list kind of goes on. I feel like, that's a fight that Benavidez.
Sergio Mora pointed out that David Benavidez and Dmitry Bivol are already familiar with each other from previous sparring sessions, meaning neither fighter would have many surprises. He added that a victory over Bivol in Las Vegas could elevate Benavidez into an even bigger superstar. Mora explained that while Bivol depends heavily on movement and technical boxing, Benavidez brings greater speed, a stronger jab, and more punching power, making David his favorite in the matchup.
They've sparred before, so they know what to expect. That's one. Two, imagine him fighting in September in the same venue in Las Vegas with all the Mexicans watching again and beating a guy that beat down your superstar, a guy that beat Bivol. I'm talking about Bivol beat Canelo and you beating Bivol on that special date. That's how you take over the crown at 29 years old and become the next star for the next couple of years. Bivol's the way because he's not a big puncher. He's footwork, and you need to know how to close down that distance and footwork. Benavidez has that. Speed beats the timing of Bivol with that jab. The speed's going to intercept that. And then ultimately the power. The power's going to be on Benavidez's side. Bivol's never been a puncher. He's strong, but he's not a puncher. So everything's for Benavidez. I would see him being the major favorite here.
In addition, Chris Mannix recognized Dmitry Bivol as one of boxing's top 5 pound-for-pound fighters. However, after David Benavidez's impressive victory over Gilberto "Zurdo" Ramirez, Mannix believes Benavidez also belongs in that elite conversation. At this stage, he gives Benavidez a slight edge over Bivol because of his dominant recent performances and success across multiple weight divisions.
Enough credit. Bivol is still a top 5 pound-for-pound guy. That said, based on that performance against Zurdo, I'd have to make the case that Benavidez is a top 5 pound-for-pound guy right now. And I would probably make Benavidez a slight favorite at the moment against Dimitri Bivol because we know what Benavidez is right now. Like, Benavidez is a monster in multiple divisions.
Furthermore, Stephen Breadman, Edwards analyzed a possible fight between David Benavidez and Dimitri Bivol, believing the outcome could be determined by pace and activity. He explained that Benavidez's relentless pressure and high punch output could force Bivol to stay on the move throughout the fight, making it difficult for him to establish his rhythm. Edwards also believes that if Benavidez maintains a fast pace from start to finish, Bivol's effectiveness could gradually decline as the rounds progress.
We hit him with 4 and 5 shots. And I like David's youth in that fight. With Bivol's a tremendous fighter. I got a tremendous amount of respect for him. But it seems like that the way he moves and he doesn't fight on the inside, Benavidez can kind of force him to overmove and move more than what he would like to move and force him to kind of run out of gas. For as good as Bivol's conditioning is, he does take off rounds because he fights in the constant bounce all night. And I think that Beterbiev's pressure and Benavidez's pressure is different. Beterbiev is more calculated. He actually have good footwork and defense, but it's more subtle and calculated, where Benavidez is a little more frenetic. And I think that he will force a harder pace on Bivol.
On the other hand, Eddie Hearn acknowledged David Benavidez's talent, but questioned how well his style would translate to the light heavyweight division. He believes Benavidez is at his absolute best at super middleweight, where his size and physical pressure give him a greater advantage. Hearn also suggested that against a highly technical boxer like Dimitri Bivol, the stylistic edge would likely favor Bivol because of his superior ring control, movement, and technical ability.
Yes, I think he's a good fighter. How good? You know, Godzic is decent. You know, he's strong, old. I don't think Benavidez is a 175 fighter. I don't think he beats Beterbiev. I don't think he beats Bivol. But I think he's very hard to beat at 168. I think that's where a lot of his advantage.
Bruce Carrington shares a similar opinion, describing Dimitri Bivol as an extremely disciplined and methodical fighter who sticks to his game plan from the opening bell until the final round. He believes David Benavidez would need to disrupt that rhythm early, something he has successfully done against previous opponents. Even so, Carrington admitted the matchup is very difficult to predict because both fighters have improved significantly since their earlier sparring sessions.
Fight. I genuinely don't know because Bivol's so disciplined. From round 1 to 12, he's here back and forth with this. He is stubborn with that style, bro. So it's all about him getting Bivol off of his game, which he has the capability of doing. He's broken down so many people. Yeah, I heard that too. You know, word is he's confidently talking about it in his interview, saying how he got him in sparring. But he also lets it known that it was good work though. At the same time, and there's time that's been since that happened, and both fighter has grown since then. But man, Bivol, bro, it's gonna be tough. That's a fight that I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know how it'll go down.
I do think he beats Beterbiev at Beterbiev.
Sean Zittel also praised Dimitri Bivol, describing him as a calm, highly technical boxer with excellent defense, quick footwork, and fast combinations. He highlighted Bivol's composure under pressure, even against dangerous punchers like Artur Beterbiev. According to Zittel, Bivol's timing, experience, and ring IQ are major reasons why many people still consider him the favorite in a potential fight with David Benavidez.
Look, can't count Bivol out though, man. It's a totally different style than Ramirez, and Benavidez is gonna probably lose a little something getting back down to light heavyweight. And the footwork alone of Bivol and all that, and excellent hand speed himself, and in the light heavyweight division, underrated strength. I mean, you've been around Bivol. This shock absorber is a motherfucker. That's why he was able to hold up to the heavy artillery of Beterbiev without wilting in 24 rounds. He could take a shot. He is super smart, quick hands, quick feet, the beautiful Eastern European feints. It's still a great fight. And a lot of people that know boxing will still pick Dimitri Bivol because styles do make.
Meanwhile, YouTuber Showbiz The Adult questioned how David Benavidez would perform after stepping up to the light heavyweight division, especially against an opponent like Dimitri Bivol. Although he praised Benavidez's skills and defensive awareness, he still viewed the matchup as a very difficult stylistic challenge because of Bivol's timing, ring control, and overall boxing intelligence.
Benavidez. I'm seeing punishment on David Benavidez as a light heavyweight, which concerns me a bit against Bill. Fantastic fighter, great defense, doing great things, very skillful. But I'm seeing shit, and Bivol is just so good that it's like, bruh, my good.
In contrast, Radivoj Kalajdzic praised David Benavidez for consistently defeating every opponent placed in front of him throughout his career. However, he also suggested that competing against the absolute elite at the championship level presents a completely different challenge. According to Kalajdzic, Benavidez may find it harder to dominate opponents at that level because the level of competition becomes much stronger.
He accomplished a lot and he beat everybody in front of him, but he's good, but just him, if we're comparing him to better beat Bivol, I don't think he has a chance.
That wraps up today's breakdown. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe for more boxing news, fight updates, expert analysis, and the latest developments from around the sport. Don't forget to leave a like and share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your opinions on these potential matchups, and we'll continue bringing you every major update as the stories unfold.